Again, before y'all blame me, just listen to what the man's saying.
They got Adam grown and tried to mate him with these clones. That didn't work either. So then they said, okay, we got to make another one. So they made another one, called it Eve. And they mated Adam and Eve together and boom, had a baby. So then they made more Adams and more Eves through genetic tinkering and in vitro fertilization, not through having Adam and Eve create 8 billion people. Adam and Eve did not have to create the whole planet worth of people. There were already millions of people here, or hundreds of thousands at least, when Adam and Eve arrived. And Adam and Eve were just one of many that were then born in that particular way by taking a zygote and then using in vitro fertilization and then having them mate with each other at different specific times inside of the Garden of Eden, E-D-I-N in the ancient text. It was a mating ground, a mating laboratory, and it would have people mating at specific times so they can continue to make babies. And it was a wealth of genes in that pool. In other words, it wasn't two people creating a baby.
Here's the deal. The word is the word. That's what my mom said. Really. The word is the word. And where do this Adam and Eve come into play that they are responsible for me?
They don't. They're not. Okay. What they are responsible for is showing that the experiment could work for mating, but they're not even close to the first people that were on this planet and not even close to the total genetic pool that created 8 billion people. As you already stated well in the beginning of this podcast, there's no way in the world you can take two people and create 8 billion. Genetically, it's just impossible. There's not enough genetic material. Not to mention, if you go with the theological point of view, the theological world point of view, that the earth is only 6,000 years old and then people have only been here for 6,000 years. To get 8 billion in 6,000 years, I came up with a mathematical formula for that. So you have N, P, R, and T. N is the initial population. P is the final population. R is the annual growth rate. T equals the time period in years. All right, so it's a pretty much simple mathematical equation. N equals P divided by 1 plus R with T squared. So if you do this mathematical, and I was a math genius, obviously, in school, but you look at this, you have, okay, this is what you're going to have to get. You're going to have to, assuming a constant annual growth rate of 0.5%, we can calculate the number of humans needed to be born per day as follows. And I have the calculation here, and it's going to come out to be 1.3 million humans need to be born per day. When you do this every single day. Right now, we only have, huh?
I said, roaches don't do that.
No. You're crazy. But think about that. 1.3 million people need to be born per day to have 8 billion people here in 6,000 years. So I say to the religious zealots, how is this possible? It's not possible. At this point right now, we're at the most people born per day in recorded history, which is approximately 350,000 people per day. That's about how many people are born. My fifth granddaughter was just born 2 days ago, right? And so, you have to have right now there's about 350,000 people born per day, not 1.3 million people per day. And to start off, you got to remember this. On the very first day of sexual reproduction, it needed to be 1.3 million that first day.
Yeah.
8 billion. So the first day that Adam and Eve came out, they needed to have sex some kind of way magically, and 1.3 million needed to start that day. And that from every day point forward, from that day forward, needed to be 1.3 million people.